we are here today to talk once again about HSI products, HSI professional products, and to be exact, we are going to talk about their brushes today. And with Pascal's wealth of knowledge about hairstyling, and of course brushes, he will share some tips and tricks with us today.
All right, how's everyone? How are you? Like Alina said, we're going to be talking about HSI's brush line that they have produced for the professional market for someone like myself, but as well as you at home that is maybe trying to understand or how to use a brush, because a lot of time I find out when I have styling questions from a client, a lot of times I realize when they can't do something or reproduce something for styling, it's about really the lack of education with the use of the tools. So these brushes, we have a combination of what's known as a Denman brush, or what the HSI calls it, the classic 9-row brush. We'll start with this one.
And they are really nicely packed.
Nicely packaged. For if anybody's out there watching who is a salon owner like myself, or a retailer who retails beauty products, you can actually pin this on a pegboard of some kind for a retail purpose. They do clip underneath. They pop right open. We kind of broke this one open already earlier, but basically it pops from the bottom, but we will take it out from here. So here we have, which is better known in the market for professionals as a Denman brush. It's a classic brush from kind of flavored from the English, basically. This is your typical hairbrush when doing a classic bob with the blow dryer, and you're trying to get that very precision look. So this is a very good brush for just brushing hair in general, mostly straight to wavy hair. I wouldn't recommend this on curls necessarily. We have a different brush that we'll show you in a minute on that. The other thing, one of the things HSI does with their brushes, I've noticed, because I've been using these, number one, the handles, all the brushes feel super light in the hand when you're using them.
Oh yeah.
I noticed that. I tend to have a very wide space between my thumb and index finger. So when I clamp down, let's see if we can do this way. When I clamp down, I have this open space here. And if sometimes when the handles are too thin, I cannot grab. I have to use my fingertips. So when you put too much stress on fingertips, you tend to probably drop or lose the brush from your hand. So I really like the way they actually make the grips a little thicker than the norm. The other thing in this brush, they have a kind of a pneumatic effect here. It has sort of an absorbing pad, which has an anti-static coating on it. And the bristles you see here with the 9 different rows, they're made of a nylon, which has a coating on it to stay anti-static, basically. So if you brush, like, say, straight fine hair, typically when you do something like that with regular rubber or plastic, it's going to create an electrical reaction into the hair because of the rubbing, okay? And this doesn't do this. Mm-hmm. So.
And Pascal, I just wanted to add that as we are live streaming, mm-hmm. You can find all of these products on HSI Professional website. They are available online at hsiprofessional.com, and their website is beautiful, very easy to use. And if you are using today the discount code VIPAFTV, then you are getting 40% off on all products on the website, not just on the brushes.
Here's our second brush from HSI. This happens to be thanks to Alina, allowing me to use these brushes for the past week in my salon.
My pleasure.
I love this brush. This is great. Not only do you see how it's bowed here, it's not from the camera effect. This is actually shaped to the head.
Right, and I'm Pascal, I'm not a hair professional, so when I first saw it, it didn't really make much sense to me. Why would it be shaped that way? What are we gaining from using a brush like that?
So the curvature, it's nicely done. Besides the fact I could probably use these to spank my children, which I don't, but it is shaped to the head shape. So most of people's heads are round. So when you display this on someone's head and you brush the whole head, basically when you brush, it actually follows the sphere of the head. Even if there's a flat spot still, it's so wide. And I like the fact the bristles are very wide apart, basically almost a pinky finger width, okay? And everything here also has, if you do pull, say, some really thick curly hair, which I have done a lot of that this week at the salon, this brush can actually, it gives a little bit for flexibility. It's very durable. The grip is made of a rubber, which is also kind of, you could say, sort of cut out in between. It allows air to move through the hands, so your hands actually will not get, if you perspire or your hands are sweaty, it gives. I mean, it's a very well-designed brush.
And it's not only light, it's also
super light. I mean, it is so light.
It is super light, which is great for women. Like myself, when I style my own hair, whether using this brush or the brush for styling and with a hair dryer, it's easy to hold it.
Most women tend to put too much strain on the wrist here and the elbow. A lot of times when you're doing your hair, you're putting so much strain on the wrist, and typically women that tend to be a little thinner in bone structure, okay, like Olina, less density in the sense, a heavy brush will actually make your hand sore, even if it's brushing for 2 minutes.
Well, and it's not just light. It also detangles hair very well because of the coating, right?
Yes. It also has, I think HSI pretty much, from what I've experienced with the brushes this week, they've put this anti-static coating on all the bristles. Mm-hmm. So what that is, it's a type of kind of copolymer that's on there that basically almost kind of skin feel. It's kind of hard to describe a feel on video or smell for that matter. But it's when you do it, when you brush through, you can tell there is nothing sticking up after being, the brushing through usually creates a static with plastic, some wood, and mostly plastic. If it's got any kind of really just generic plastic on there, it's going to create a static electricity. So you can use hairstyling products for that to control. But the nice thing is it's not starting with the brush. And it's a great detangling brush.
Oh yeah, and I have very tangly hair. I know that a lot of times on me you use a hair detangler. And with this brush, would you say it helps with using less product or not?
Actually, we used it on you last week. I didn't use any products because I wanted to test the brush without any help. And I don't remember getting it tangled in your hair.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Because it hurts when it does.
And I've actually, just to test it out, because I have lots of styling products on my stations at the salon that I could use to do that, but just to test the brushes to know, so I have enough detail to talk about these. This is my favorite brush right here.
Mine too.
I didn't even use my white tooth combs all week because I wanted to really play with this. And I specialize in a lot of multi-texture hair. So everything from afro to European type of curls. I've had just about everyone in that sort of jar come into the salon this week. It's been a great brush.
And once again, to remind you, all of these brushes and HSI Professional products are available on hsiprofessional.com with 40% off the prices you're seeing on the screen right now with the code VIPAFTV. VIPAFTV.
So our next line up here is our round brushes from HSI. It has a tourmaline barrel, which is made also with the ionic technology. And a lot of times people ask, what is ionic? I have a lot of clients who ask me, what does the ionic do? So the ionic is a type of coating that goes on here that actually adheres to water molecule. Sometimes you hear hair dryers, which HSI makes a really, I've been playing with their hair dryer all week as well, and it's very, when I blow dry hair, very curly, frizzy hair in Atlanta, especially with our humidity, I need to blow dry extremely quick, and I am very fast on blow dries. So what would take someone with a full head of hair, say 40-minute blowout, it takes me 20 minutes. And why? Mainly because I use the right tools. So by having the right tools, you get the job done perfectly instead of spending extra 20 minutes trying to do something that you should do with the right products. So these brushes, I haven't used these all week. Same thing, these pop out from the bottom.
Would you like me to show the other size?
We have also, so we have a 3-inch round brush. This is a 2-inch round brush. And Alina will pull one out as I pull the other.
That's actually my favorite.
And by the way, guys, all these brushes, if you have noticed, they all have something that could be, again, you could retail these out of the box if for people like myself in the retail salon, or if you have something at your vanity in the bathroom. Some people, I mean, my wife likes to use little suction cups on the mirror, and it has her favorite brush hanging on there. That's one aspect. Otherwise, I mean, just anything that basically holds them instead of throwing them in the drawer. So
what do I have over here?
Olina has the 3-inch round brush. Now, these are made, again, with the anti-static bristle. These bristles on these kind of brush, they're made for just picking up the hair. And the fact they do not have little points on the ends, unlike, say, a detangling brush. Okay, this has little beads on the end.
Could you please bring it closer to the camera?
Yes.
Yeah, now you can see it.
Those little beads, they help when you detangle hair. They allow to move through as the hair tangles towards the bottom, going from the roots to the ends. They help to kind of pull that hair apart. These don't need to do that, primarily because you're going to use this brush first to detangle hair if you need to detangle. So when you start doing your styling, you're going to use the round brush and the hair dryer, okay? And you're basically going to twirl these, trying to style the hair, whether it's a short bob or something even longer. Something longer, you could move up. You could move up to the larger size that Lolina has here. So typically, if I'm doing, like, say, the bangs, I would use something on short hair to curl the front, and I would move through maybe a longer length using a larger brush. Why? Also for speed, to get the hair done correctly. And at the same token, these brushes, again, there are ceramic and ionic technology. Mm-hmm. The barrels are all perforated through, so you're moving airflow right through the brushes, okay, as you're drying. And that allows, again, for hair to be dried and styled extremely, quicker than not. Some brushes out there that have a more solid body, it's going to bounce airflow off the brush. In this case, you're allowing, if you're wrapping a long section of hair, then the hair on the surface that you're pointing your dryer on is drying that area as well as the bottom of that hair. So you do dry hair much, much faster.
And I see some questions coming in live. If this is available, the products are available outside of USA. Unfortunately, I do not know which countries exactly HSI Professional ships to, but I do encourage you to visit hsiprofessional.com and find out from their support services where exactly they ship, because it's a large company. They're headquartered in Miami. Again, you can find those products on hsiprofessional.com with 40% off with code VIPAFTV.
So one of the things that this brush does also that HSI wants to share with people, for those of you using a lot of styling products, okay? And a lot of times when we do hair, sometimes we get a lot of steam action, kind of residue in the air. This actually, using these brushes, because of the tourmaline coating that's actually on the barrel, it's kind of mimicking sort of a curling or flat iron, if you will. So not only does it hold the heat from the dryer from inside in the brushwork, but also from the dryer that's coming down on it. So you're sandwiching the hair to dry much faster. And that tourmaline coating, actually, it's what used to be used in ceramic irons when they first came out. When they started putting a tourmaline coating on it, it actually protected from dry heat. So using this kind of technology with tools, brushes, hair dryers, the flat irons, even the HSI makes, which is great. The glider, I've been using it this week. It's awesome. It actually protects. You can dry hair faster. You're not burning the ends over time period, which is very important when you're using hot tools. And these brushes, typically, in the past, if you were to use these kind of brush, it would be just a metal center, and it would overheat and split the ends with time. So I did not see that using these brushes this whole week. I really like these brushes. These are great. We need a larger size though. I do a lot of long hair. I would literally go for maybe a 4 or 5 incher.
Yes, well, I should say that HSI have a lot more accessories, including brushes, on the website. And as I showed you before, you can find it on hsiprofessional.com. In accessories section, because they also have tools, they also have argan oil hair care products, they also have other accessories such as stands and carry-on bags, travel bags that you can use with your hair accessories, and so much more. And all of it is 40% off extra with the code VIPAFTV.
So our next brush lineup is the paddle brush, as you can see here. And this one is pretty wide. This is, again, another great brush for detangling hair. Again, they make, a handle that fits just right in the hand. It is, again, very light, a little heavier in the head than the detangling brush, okay? Just because there's a little more material on this one than this one.
And I love red and black color combination.
Yeah, by the way, growing up, when I first started salon business, I was very impressed by a salon in Washington, D.C. back 30 years ago that was all black and red decor. And I really thought, wow, this is such a cool salon. And, that's what these brushes kind of remind me of.
Yeah.
And I've always had this, I love the red and black, personally. I think it's very hip. It's very cool.
My brand is all in red, black, and white colors. So.
That's true. Yeah, your website. That's right. So this one, HSI again, beautiful, well-designed handle. The other thing I want to share, that one of the things that working with brushes as a professional, a lot of times when you're doing blow dry after blow dry after blow dry, or you're detangling, okay? It's a lot of times if a company makes a solid body versus bristle or two-part, so this has a separate handle from the actual head here. So there is a joining factor here, if you will. A lot of times you will find that hair will get caught in here with time and wrap because hair is very fine, it's very thin, it'll fit through the grooves. And I found, actually, working with these brushes this week, because my brushes, the ones that are not solid body, I have to cut hair out of here almost after every blow dry.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes when I'm taking too wide a section of hair and I'm going here, hair gets caught here. I did not experience that with this brush this week, and I've used it a lot. These I use for about, less than 60 seconds, really, to detangle hair. So that wasn't even an issue. The other thing here, it's very, it has a very pneumatic padding. Again, it has the nano ionic and tourmaline technology used in all of these brushes. Anti-static, okay? It's very hard to tell from the details of the finish here, but you notice how the bristles, they're not as shiny. It has a very kind of matte coating on all the bristles, whether this, the round brushes, or the other detangle brush, same thing. This is actually the the technology that HSI has used on all the bristles that creates an anti-static effect.
And that's important too, especially when you have a long hair. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and anti-static, is especially more important during the colder months.
Oh, it's
coming. Fall and winter is upon us, and so when we brush hair, and so going back to the ionic for a minute, when we talk about ions, there are positive and negative ions. Okay, so every technology that is being used in tools, whether it's a hair dryer or a brush, they're producing negative ions. Why? Because negative ions, they sort of piggyback or do almost what I call a tandem to the water molecule is trying to remove from the hair. So what happens is that water molecule becomes twice as heavy. So if you're blowing with a pretty good blower, it's pushing water that much faster by creating weight to the hair at the water molecule. So basically the water is being pushed a lot faster. So to use a ionic technology in your tools, if you got frizzy curly hair and you're trying to get that hair blown smooth or even just natural curl without getting that halo of frizz above your head, trust me, you want to invest in ionic technology. It's fantastic.
And the price line for these brushes is not high. It's not as expensive as you might think. Just take a look at the website. You see that actually you can see on this screenshot, but some of the brushes, most of the brushes are available for under $20, and this is before the 40% discount you are getting with the code VIPAFTV. Once again, if you didn't catch it, all of the products are available on HSIprofessional.com.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
I mean, who knew there is so much to know about brushes? Oh, my God.
There's a lot to know. Anything you buy as a tool, you have to learn how to use that properly. I think we tend to think, okay, I have hair, I have a brush, just put it in my hair, brush. But you know what? Every tool exists for a different purpose, and that purpose has to be educated.
Yes, but for women, it's not as simple, right? Women with long hair, when we blow dry at home, when we get ready to go out, we want to have nice hair, and we want to not spend 2 hours a day, right? There is more to life than just blow drying or doing hair.
Right.
And when you invest into tools, this is into right tools, high quality tools. This is number one rule of good hair or good anything. But then also you need to learn how to use them properly to minimize the time you're spending and maximize the beauty, which is what Pascal is trying to teach us. So thank you.
See, brushing this piece out here, we can do this all day long here, and it will actually keep the hair concentrated around her face. It doesn't flare out. That's another testament right here of the static control.
Right, and I have frizzy hair, and
her hair is dry. Any brush you take, put into dry hair that doesn't have an anti-static technology, it will not do this. It will come out to here. And we can demo that with a different, manufacturer's brush, but we're not going to do that because we're playing nice.
Well, thank you, Pascal, for sharing all the knowledge about brushes and hair and how we can make our life better and easy on an everyday basis.